Matthew Hutchinson. He's going to talk to you about a little about his slide presentation, and we'll take it from there. Go on, it's your floor.
Yeah.
Here it goes. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me here today. I am grateful for the opportunity to be with all of you today, with all of you, and to talk about a topic that is very close to my heart, advocacy. My name is Matthew Hutchinson, and since we'll be spending some time together, you can call me Matt. I am a self-advocate, which means I speak up for myself and others to create change, especially in the disability community. Today I want to share my story, define what advocacy means, and talk about how we can all take action to improve the world around us. Whether you're just starting to advocate or have been doing this for years, we all have a part to play. I'd like to share my story. When I was born in Dixie Medical Center in St. George, I had a hole in my lung called a pneumothorax. My lung collapsed when I took my first breath. I spent my first week in the NICU. Then my mom took me home and everything seemed fine for a year and a half. Then it seemed out of nowhere I started having partial complex seizures. I would get dizzy, vomit, and go unconscious for a couple of hours. My mom took me to doctors and eventually to Primary Children's Hospital, where I was seen by the neurologist, and I was one of the first patients in the neurobehavioral clinic. When I was 4 years old, I changed completely. I went from being happy and engaged child that loved to play, look at books, and put puzzles together, to being nonverbal, doing repetitive behaviors, and seemed completely shut down. I wasn't diagnosed with autism until later in my childhood, but the changes at that age changed my life forever. It meant I needed certain supports growing up, like special education and services all through school. It meant I didn't do a lot of things that I saw my peers doing growing up, like dating, getting a driver's license, and graduating from high school. That's another story I'll share with you later. Living with autism hasn't been easy. I sometimes need help with things other people may not think twice about. But it's also part of what makes me strong, determined, and able to see the world in unique ways. My mom was my first advocate. She was involved in all my IEP meetings. She would keep in touch with my teachers. She got me involved in the community by getting me in Special Olympics. I competed for 7 years. This became a family affair for us. My mom and brother coached, and eventually my brother became head of delegations for Special Olympics at Utah State University. I loved participating and was really a really fast breaststroker, but when my mom became the swim coach, I didn't want to swim anymore, and I decided to do basketball until my brother became the basketball coach. I have a very independent and stubborn personality. My mom also got involved with Options for Independence in Cache Valley, and I started becoming more active as an advocate. The Independent Living Center would hold Meet Your Legislature nights, and I made sure to go every time. After the meeting, I wouldn't just leave. I would talk to legislators one-on-one about disability and independent living concerns. Since then, I've been able to graduate from high school, go on a mission, complete BYU pathways, and Optimi for Tech. And I have a great part-time job at the University of Utah, working as an office and clinic assistant and a self-advocate. Some of my most fulfilling work comes from being part of the disability community, by being involved on a number of boards and councils. What does advocacy mean to you?
Standing up for your rights.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, you have.
Taking up for yourself.
Yes, thank you. Okay, yes.
Sticking up for what you really believe in, fighting for everyone around you.
Yes, that's a good one too. Yes.
Helping others see the what you can do.
That's a good point too. Yes?
I also think it means like taking an active role in trying to help something to happen. So instead of just kind of being stuck without help, you're taking an active role to try to make a change or make something happen.
Yes, that's good. Yeah. Okay. Advocacy is speaking up or acting in the support of a cause, a person, or a community. It means standing up for yourself or others to bring about positive change. Advocacy can look different depending on the person or situation. You might be asking for accommodations at school or work. You could be contacting lawmakers regarding a law or policy. Share your story publicly, like I'm doing right now. Help a friend speak up. Each of us needs to advocate for ourselves throughout our lives, and sometimes those who aren't able to advocate for themselves need us to make our voices heard for them. Therefore, it's a very important skill to learn. When we advocate, we're making our voice heard, but it also requires action. Why do you think advocacy matters?
Some things need to change, and advocacy helps with that.
Yes, good. Yes.
Because if we don't, I mean, then we're gonna just be left in a closet, and we're gonna be like some kind of disease that people don't wanna see. And beyond what we can actually do, that we can show people, hey, we can be just as good as you can. But we wanna show you the disabilities that we have and give us a chance to prove it, you know. Let us be who we are, but also stand up for letting legislators know that this is what we need also in accommodations, in housing, and welfare, or whatever we need to be fair just as much as everybody else.
Good. Advocacy has changed the world. Because of advocacy, we have the Americans with Disabilities Act, inclusive education, better access to public places and services. But progress didn't happen on its own. People stood up, spoke out, and worked for change. Because of advocacy, here's what was passed in the recent Utah legislative session. The Disability Coverage Amendments, which addresses wraparound services for individuals with disabilities and guardianships and supported decision-making agreements amendments. There is still much work to do. If we stop advocating, much of what we have gained could be taken away. We must continue protecting and improving our rights and services, not just for ourselves, but for those who come after us. There are many ways we can advocate, such as self-advocacy, which means speaking up for your own needs, peer advocacy, which means helping others speak up, group advocacy, which is working with others to bring about change, legislative advocacy, talking to lawmakers and leaders, online advocacy using social media and technology to raise awareness. There are many ways to be an advocate. You don't have to be loud or political. You just have to be real, respectful, and willing to speak out. Can anyone share an example of a time when you were an advocate? Maybe it was for yourself, family member, or someone else. Yes?
I just started being an advocate, and I share my story with a lot of people. I go to church tonight, and I share my events and advocate around me. Now that I'm their activity committee planner, I get involved with a lot of things now.
Good. Okay. Sometimes, and then advocacy isn't always easy, and sometimes we feel ignored. We can get tired or discouraged because efforts can take years to be realized. We may face people who don't understand, don't see our vision, or don't care. They may make attempts to undo all the hard work and accomplishments of the disability community, such as dissolve a bill or service the disability community benefits from. That's why the fight needs to continue. But although advocacy is challenging, it's also rewarding and fulfilling. Just to tell you a little story about a challenging experience we've had when advocating. When it came to graduate from high school, I walked with my class and got an attendance certificate. I felt really unhappy about this. I wanted to graduate from high school with a real diploma like everyone else. Because I didn't get an actual high school diploma, I attended the peer project at Utah State University, which is a special ed post-high program. In the end, this did benefit me. I had different job experiences, and I met my future boss, Gordon Richards. This is Gordon Richards right here, and I was his office assistant. And he's the one in the wheelchair in this picture. He hired me as his office assistant at USU and became a great friend, mentor, and advocate. In the peer project, my goal was to get a GED since I didn't think I would be able to get a high school diploma. But this never happened. And my special ed exit meeting, when asked why I hadn't been given the opportunity to take the GED test, my teacher said I couldn't do math, and so I wasn't given the opportunity to try. The district representative questioned if I had been given any instruction or help. I was put through some computer modules, but unfortunately it wasn't helpful, and I didn't accomplish my goal. After I exited out of post-high, I still wanted to get a GED. I heard the test was changing from 5 modules to 4, and it was going to be a more challenging test. To get some help, my mom contacted the adult high school principal at Mount Crest, which is the local school where we were living. We were living in Hiram at the time. My mom explained my situation, and the principal asked her to get my transcript sent over to him. She did, and in the meantime, registered me for the next class. My mom thought she would have to be my tutor, so she went with me the first night of class. When we got there, the principal met us in the hall and said that I was short only a half credit to graduate and get a high school diploma. And no one had ever said anything to me or my mom about that. The class I registered for would fulfill that requirement, and I would be able to get my high school diploma. However, remember my peer project teacher saying I couldn't do math. Well, this was a math class. That first night in my class, my mom realized I would need more help than her. I had woke rehab services by then, so my mother went to my caseworker and requested a math tutor. The caseworker told my mom, "We don't have tutors here, and we tell students at the university to use their school money to pay for the tutors themselves. We can get him some clothes though." My mom told the caseworker that I didn't need clothes. I need a tutor to help me get a high school diploma so I could move forward in life and get a better job. My mom isn't one to take no for an answer. So she called someone she knew had options for independence to get advice on what to do. They knew someone in the state rehabilitation office and connected us with that person. My mom explained to them that what was happening and what I need, and through a series of events, it was arranged with the Utah State University tutoring office that I would be getting a tutor, and the university would receive a voucher from the state rehab office for the services. I don't know if they still have the voucher system, but it created a lot of issues for people who needed services and help besides clothes. The tutor went to class with me for the next 9 weeks, and we met at the library once a week to go over homework. The first night of class, I took a pretest and probably missed most, if not all, the questions. At 9 weeks, I was tested again and only missed 1 question. With help from a great teacher who taught how I learned and a great tutor, I was able to pass the class and receive my adult high school diploma. It was such a proud day for me, and I told my mom that now I was equal with other men. This wouldn't have happened if I didn't have people advocating for me. Let's brainstorm. Where do we see advocacy happening today?
Me, when I started going to UVU, really, and then there was no such thing as much for disabled until I told the president of the university, that was Matt Holland, and at that time, that is there any way that I would be able to get more help and get maybe some spelling maybe made that there'll be 4 autism people in the, and immediately he thought of it, and immediately 2 years before he was he he made an agreement with the community of, Utah County, to build a building for that really, and for some reason, when that happened, it was happy for me to find out that I could get more help and get that, opportunity to understand and that I would get tutors and some other help that I needed for school that I would never get otherwise. And when they had the open house, I was the only obstacle that in that time, and going to school that I give you. And so a lot of the newscasters, asked me, why are you here? Why are you so excited to have this building be here on campus really? I told them the reason why is because the opportunity for me and even other people that will, in the future to come here and get the help they need because they want to go to college really. And I told them that it's not fair that a lot of people think that people like us don't have the opportunity to go to college because they really want to, but they don't think they're not qualified or they don't have the capacity to do it, but they can do it because they have this here, and we can always get help from it. We can always get these people that will work with you and get this done with. Because for me, I had so much help from that kind of thing after that open that I told my friends that don't worry, you can still go here and you can then enroll in the autism program thing with your other classes, and they will give your tutors, they will give you all the help you need in that building. Besides, because you'll be having more than just your major counselor, you'll be having that kind of counselor and another counselor that will help you with getting in other additional help. And they never knew that was possible for them at all. And then so I was advocating that kind of thing for them after I found out that this was possible for me really, and it was great. And for me, that I was thankful that this happened for me and for others that now are able to go there really.
So, may I ask a question?
Yes.
So, at UVU,
UVU.
yes,
Yes.
UVU. So, when you were there, so that didn't exist.
At first it did not exist at first.
So you went to the college president.
Yes.
And you said, hey, we need this.
We need this really badly, yeah, and yeah.
And it happened.
Yes.
So you made that happen.
Yes.
You advocated for
Yes.
that, and you made it happen. Exactly what we're talking about.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yep.
Yes.
Also joined some like advocate meetings like I have. I went to one in Salt Lake and it was a really good experience. We got to learn about how to be an advocate, what to do, I mean, how you can get started if you really want to. Because I'm more I've been wanting to do advocate for a long time and out there with mental health and everything. So I'm an advocate with NAMI and the Safe Utah program now. And I'm trying to get the awareness out because this time of the year, there were so many suicidal and they're trying to get rid of all these programs. So what I'm trying to do is get out on social media to help fight for all these to stay alive because 64 million people suffer from it. Whether people want to realize that they have a disability or if they have a mental issue. And it's a big problem. You know, if we don't all speak up and we don't all come together, then we're not all gonna be safe, and our families will wonder what happened, and why couldn't we help them, or, you know, if we don't use our voices and go to these meetings and find out how we can, you know, because we're all people, and we're all individuals that have talents and skills, and sometimes we hold them back, and sometimes we need to open up our eyes and bring out what we are capable, and then once we get that out, it's gonna follow like nothing, and everyone else will open up their eyes and want to be a part of that.
Can I say something? So you're involved with NAMI in Salt Lake or here?
It's here in Utah. I go with Wasatch Receiving Team because I had a mental breakdown about 3 years ago. So I've been involved with them, and they have a NAMI on Facebook. So you can learn all about what they do, their walks, what they're all about. Get out your story. If you've had a mental issue, if you are struggling with your disability, if you were struggling through addictions or whatever you're going through, they're out there. You guys don't have to feel like you're alone. Don't ever feel like you're alone, because where I come from, it was darkness, and now that I see where I'm coming from, I find things beautiful, and I got a job, and I'm working around great people that understand my disabilities and my challenges. So they want to know more about NAMI. They want to know more about how to be an advocate, how they can get their families involved.
That is great.
And also, I got 2 callings from my church last week. I'm on the activity committee planning, which I did a really good job last Saturday. We had a great turnout. And then I'm also with the missionaries. I go and talk to people, and I ministry. I don't preach, but I kind of get them involved and tell my story, and then let them tell their story. And like, it's not all about getting into religion. It's getting to know someone, hearing their side of the story, not judging them, and giving your opinion and their opinion, and maybe you guys can come together and see something together and build something together.
That sounds wonderful.
Okay, well, it could be that disability rights marches, online petitions, testifying at the Capitol, writing letters to lawmakers, and the positives that come from advocacy is everyone's voice matters, including yours. Some of the kindest and caring people are advocates. Rewarding and fulfilling, you're making a difference, not just in your life, but for many others. You get to be part of planting seeds for the generations to come. They do grow in time, and you are needed, we are all needed. Where can you advocate?
Everywhere.
Yes. You can join a self-advocacy group like People First, work with local centers for independent living, volunteer with disability organizations such as the ARC or Autism Society, write or call your local legislatures, go to community meetings and speak up. And 3 tips: start small, be consistent, and use your strengths. You don't have to be a professional to be an advocate. You just need your voice, your story, and your willingness to care. One person can make a difference, but together we can move mountains. Let's commit to continuing work in advocacy, not just for today, but for tomorrow. Let's build a world that is fair, inclusive, and full of opportunity for all of us. And at the end, I would like to share a quote by, her name is Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. And then, I'm going to question, what's one small step you can take this week to advocate for yourself or someone else? Yes.
Well, we're learning peer-to-peer in this group, and it's been great, because I've been with the group for almost a long time. But I have met a lot of beautiful people, and what we're learning how to teach others, like what we've been through. Like, most of us haven't had jobs, most of us haven't had relationships, most of us haven't lived on our own. So these coordinators that we have, we all have a goal that we're all reaching for. And, you know, they help us get, like, if we want to work, there's a ticket to work. We go out and learn how to work together. As a community, we go to, like, learn Provo City, we go to the legislators. We go out and we teach things. Amanda, she works at a farmer's market. She shows people how to grow, and, you know, and we learn from each other, and we all have talents. Like, you know, we and Emma share it in group. And this is like one of the best groups to be involved with, or if you guys want to get involved with other groups. Like this week, I found out that United Way is doing the Special Olympics, and they're looking for all kinds of people to come and join in. So if you guys want to get involved, go find some of these things and get involved with them.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about all the things that were shared, even us, and I just pulled it up on my phone, and it's amazing some of the things that I learned throughout my life. And sometimes being in this, being in this organization, you think it's just advocacy alone, and that is important, no doubt. One of the things that I found that was very important is one time, we as advocacy, individuals, we went up to the Capitol. And one time, our, representative was not there. But one of the things that I will never forget is that there was a representative there that didn't represent us, but still yet was going around. And I talked to this man, and he knew nothing about Ability First Utah. And just being there and me kind of educating him as far as who we were and what who we represent and why we have this organization, the things that I was able to share with him educated him as far as why we were there. The other thing that I wanted to share as far as being able, I remember sharing this with a woman, and I help her with a lot of the challenges that she goes through. And last night, she shared something with me as far as why she gets really bored. Okay, and I tried to share with her as far as, do you know that boredom is your problem? If you want to get rid of boredom, then do something. Your body was not made to sit around. You have to just go out and talk about different people. Now, here's the reason why I share this. One of the goals that I'm making for myself this year is for me to be educated, just as much as I'm educating other people. I'm from Provo, okay, I live in Provo. And one of the things, the goals that I made for myself is to go to town halls, to know what's really happening in my own town and what people around here in our neighborhood want to get done. And by being educated in that way, that's what's educating me and knowing what's needed in my own neighborhood. And maybe perhaps I can help out other people as well.
Yes.
Roger.
Oh, sorry, trying to make sure there's no.
You should write that this is self-advocacy and front door.
Yeah, I will do that next time.
Yes.
Another thing that I'm really trying to work, if you guys really wanna get out, go work with Voc Rehab, okay? Voc Rehab's another good program that opens up doors for people that, like us, or, that have been, discriminated against things like housing and welfare and jobs, because most of the jobs I've had don't really accommodate what I have. But they work with me, and I've been in the industry my whole entire life. Well, I got this job, and I'm working with amazing people, and I just got done working with a job coach, which is an amazing experience. And they teach you a lot of things, and I'm working on a lot of goals. I used to be a really angry person because no one really understood me or didn't understand my background, because I came from a very hard, difficult life. And I'm learning how to speak about it without being angry about it. But everyone I meet are great people that fulfilled my emptiness of a family that I never had. Or I had a bad situation where I lost all 3 of my kids that I don't talk about a lot. And it was a really bad situation with all my boyfriends that were abusers, and I didn't want my family to see that. So as I grew older, I went through all this therapy. I did it for me to love me better. So if you don't love yourself first, then you can't love anybody else, and you can't help anybody else. But you go around judging all the time, okay? Because you think that you're better, or you have, their opinions don't matter. Well, everyone's opinion does matter. So just listen and be open-minded about everyone around you, and just be loving and kind. That's one of my goals this year, and trying to budget out, because I'm not really good about money or anything, but I'm learning how to be independent, also learning how to get around on the buses, and teaching people what I've learned in my classes, and the people around me and what they're teaching me. And I love each and every one of these people a lot.
Anyone else? Thank you.
I just want to share something with my 2 grandboys that I have here. When they first registered to school, they were having a hard time saying, why do we go to the school? Things like that. I said, well, you need to be involved with other people. They get involved in church activities with the young men, the young adults and all that stuff. But I wanted it to be, you know, something different other than them and things like that. So I think it's always good to be involved in anything. You know, make friends. Like he said, don't just stay home and not doing anything. Get out, you know, and things like that. The neighbors, sometimes they have group activities that they get together like on a Saturday evening or Sunday evening, and just as members of the ward, everybody just have like a little snack in the evening and just, you know, get to know each other type of thing. And I think that's really good for everybody. You know, whether we're in this group right here or any other group, it's always good to be involved and know people. It's good to know people and make friends, things like that. Because you learn as you communicate with each other, you know, each other's needs and each other's wants or whatever. And I think that's the neat thing. So they don't complain anymore, my two boys. You know, Cam always say, school was good today, Grandma. I said, yes, it was. Great activities. I said, sometimes you need to go thank your leaders. Say, thank you for preparing stuff for us. You know, that shows you gratitude and your thank you for what they've done. Because they work hard putting things together. Diane, Roger, the whole, you know, committee and things like that. And we appreciate what you folks do for the kid, for everybody here, for us, I guess I can say that. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, with having everything said, thank you for your time, and remember, we are the future of the disability community.
Let's give them another round of applause, everybody. Thank you. All right. We're grateful you could come.
Thank you.
And if there's any question that you need to ask him down the road, just let me know and I'll reach out. Okay?